Well, I can't believe it, but today might be the day. Might be saying goodbye to this truck. First thing in the morning, and it's raining, and I'm soaking wet, but I gotta wash this truck. I took a look at a new truck yesterday, and gonna go to the dealership today and see if they'll give me any money for this thing, and I might be trading it in. So, just thought it would be fitting to make a goodbye video of cleaning out the old Taco. This truck I've had for 16 years. Is that right? Damn. So this truck is pretty much the reason why my YouTube channel really took off. The videos of me repairing it were really popular. I had my first viral video from this truck from working on the head gasket and fixing the cylinder head. We were in, pretty tight financial times, and we really needed another vehicle, and I made the decision to just do my best to try and repair it. And it worked great, and I learned a lot, and I made a lot of videos. Those videos got super popular. I had my first viral video. Intense times. Getting up super early, wrenching on the truck before work, getting rides into work. Everything was on the cheap. I had no money to spend. We didn't really have much at all of a budget. And everything went right. Just everything kind of came into place, and hard work, lots of luck, and I got this thing back on the road. It's been running great. It's a great truck, but it's too small. I have a family. I need to be able to put the kids in here. And, it's not super safe. Even I could put a kid in the front seat, one of them, but I got two. Two won't fit, so it's just, the time is right. As much as I'd love to hold on to this truck forever, I gotta grow up, I guess. I'd be lying if I said there wasn't anything wrong with this thing, so, if I was gonna keep driving it, I'd have to start putting more and more money into it to get it to pass inspection and all that. So I think I'm just trying to justify to myself why I'm getting rid of it. I really wanted to just, I always told myself the least I would do was just take the tags off and let it sit in the backyard and make a project out of it or something. But anything I do to this, I'm going to spend more money. So if I can get money, it just makes sense. I've had this truck for so long that I have memories of ex-girlfriends from this truck. Like a few, not just, which is crazy because of where I'm at right now. Having a family, married, 2 kids, it's been a long time since the dating life, but that's how long this truck has been around. I won't tell you those stories now. My wife watches this channel. Man, I have got a lot of stuff in here. I always wanted to be prepared in case anything went wrong. I could do a lot of quick repairs on the road, and I have before. Exhaust has fallen off if I've patched it back on and that sort of thing. Oh man, I guess I could take you for a quick tour around the vehicle and show you all the cool things I did to it that that I'm getting rid of now. So this is a aux cable. It goes to the back of this receiver because I used to plug my cell phone into this. This here is well, it's a cell phone holder, but back in the day we didn't have cell phone holders. We didn't have, well, I didn't have a cell phone. It's certainly not a smartphone. So I actually had a full LCD monitor mounted here, and I had a computer installed in the truck. This actually goes to a bracket that's bolted right to the like a tubular support for the whole dash. So it's super solid. Gonna miss this phone holder. They don't make phone holders like this. Let's see. This control panel down here, I used to be a volunteer firefighter, so this actually did hook up to blue lights, strobe lights all around the truck. I had to take those out. Didn't want those to turn on accidentally. I'm not even in the same state. I used to be a volunteer, so yeah, this I gotta take out because, well, I want to keep the switch box for something, but it's just going to confuse the dealership. Yeah. This actually works right here. This is a little plug. There's an inverter behind the seat. I think I'm actually going to take that out because if I take out the switch box, that's what turns the inverter on and off. So, oh man. This is a line for a boost gauge because I have a, well, if you saw my repair videos, you might know I have a supercharger on this engine. So I had a boost gauge just in here as like diagnostic, just to check things. Oh, let's take a look around the back seat, I guess. Okay, so back here, I have this subwoofer. I'll take this part off so you can see. There's a piece of wood. Let's see if we can see it. These Tacomas, they have like kind of a little well underneath these seats, and it's a pretty decent size for a small. I think this is a 10-inch woofer. If you add a little bit of batting, like not cotton, it's like a plastic fiber, you know, like the stuff you put inside pillows, it makes a really nice enclosure, subwoofer enclosure, so you can get the resonance right. And what am I saying? Anyway, the whole truck basically becomes like a subwoofer box, which is pretty cool. So this subwoofer I've had in here years. It's a JBL, and there's a rock in it or something. Still sounds great. I'm gonna miss that. Okay. I don't know. Apologies if this isn't in focus. This is a new lens for me. I really like this lens, but it's a manual everything. So, yeah. So this is a little storage compartment, but I put a lot of stuff down there. Let's see if you can see it. So, yeah, a lot of wires. Basically use this as like kind of a junction box for, I had a pretty thick gauge wire going from the battery all the way to the back for, I took this truck across country and camped in the back, slept out in the back in the cab. And so I had a line there for like, chargers, whatever, you know, lights. You know, this was back before LED lights, so those, you know, incandescent lights kind of drew a lot of amps from a 12-volt battery. So that's what all this stuff is, and the power inverter that's down in here. Kind of a lot going on. I think I might just cut it all out. I don't want to have to explain have them thinking there's something wrong with the electrical in the truck. No, it's just some crazy mad scientist shit that I added. So, all right. So, what else? The seat is gone because I spilled a whole quart of oil on it. Let's not talk about that. Take a look at the cap. I'm really happy with this cap that I put on it. It was a lot of money. It was a big investment for me at the time. It's like, I think like almost, it was probably over $1,000 actually. But like I said, I slept in this thing across the country, and I mean, I spent many nights sleeping back here, and it was really nice and cozy. I'll have to find some pictures of that trip, and maybe I can put them in this video, because it was an epic journey. Just me. I drove to Montana, Glacier National Park, and camped there. Did some hiking. Drove to the West Coast. Drove to Portland, Oregon. Spent a little time there, and then drove all the way home back to the East Coast. And it was during like a 10-day off. I had like 10 days off from work or something like that. One summer, I was supposed to go with friends, and they all bailed, so I just went by myself, and it was just like crazy adventure. I had a light. I don't think this is hooked up anymore. I had a light right here. Well, the light's still here, but yeah, the wiring isn't there. Oh. This light has been a pain always. I will not miss that. This is another replacement one that I put here, but it's the wiring's never quite been right, and these LED lights for the fiberglass caps, they just go all the time. They're supposed to be waterproof, but they get water in there and short out and corrode and stuff. So that's a kind of a pain. Here's a neat little thing that I made. I've hauled lots and lots of sheets of drywall and insulation board and all kinds of plywood, lots and lots of 4x8 sheets in this truck, and it's a smaller truck. So what I did is I made this. This is only a 6-foot bed, so an 8-foot sheet would hang out the back. So this is a piece of plywood. It's got some hinges like this. I put some, I had this tape, so I just put it on there just for visibility. But the way this works is it just kind of goes like that. You put your sheets in there, and then the sheets, or whatever you're hauling, actually hold this down, and then this folds up, and I can get some straps through these handles. To basically, the purpose of this is to keep the stuff in the bed from coming out. I've had like this much. When I was doing the insulation in the house, I had the 2-inch thick isocyanurate insulation just loaded up in here, strapped down with this. Same thing with drywall, tons of drywall back here. No need for this thing anymore, but certainly got my use out of it. Alright, let's take one last lay in here. Oh man, it leaks now. There's water in here. Wouldn't be great for camping today. I have to remind myself about all the things that are wrong with it, though, because this window here is all messed up. Doesn't really. I used this truck to buy these 10-foot long lengths of DOM tubing, steel DOM tubing, and some other steel stuff. And the way I hauled them, because I was going across a couple different states, is I put them all through that window, and so it went, basically had 10-foot sections of steel coming from the bed of the truck through the cab. Ended up poking a hole in the roof over there, not through the roof, but you know, through the soft stuff, and really dented up this frame here, so that's why the window doesn't move. But yeah, that was the things I've done with this truck that I shouldn't have been able to do. There's some notice some nuts there. This pipe, it's just iron pipe. This is going to be a temporary thing, and it's been here for years. I hauled fencing on top of the cab, like a lot of it, when I did, well, that fencing, and there's some on the other side of the house. I also hauled 16-foot lengths of 2x10s, I think it was. Yeah. Hey, it worked. What am I going to say? This bumper was in a video. I did an update video. I didn't do a full video on it, but basically did a video on painting this rear bumper. I had just always wanted one, and the rear bumper was rotting off, so it gave me a good excuse. The front bumper has a story to it as well. This truck is 4-wheel drive. I was driving in the winter, had it in 4-wheel drive, and I thought to myself, you know, what would it be like if this was in 2-wheel drive? So I put it in 2-wheel drive, promptly spun around, back end of the truck broke free, and ended up going sideways down the road, overcorrected, did a 360 into a guardrail, smashed up the bumper. Nothing else was really wrong with it. I severed the hose from like the windshield washing fluid, and that was the only thing really. But the bumper was trashed. So I got home, ordered this new bumper. These are expensive, but you know, so are the OEM bumpers from Toyota. So I had an excuse. And I love this bumper. I got into an accident. This guy pulled into me and really messed up the front of his SUV. I mean, his vehicle was in rough shape. This got a little scratch on it. Insurance came out and took a look. Somehow they ended up giving me money. Well, of course, because it was the other guy's fault. But gave me like a lot of money. And all I had was a little scratch. Never did anything. I just, you know. So, yeah, this is a good bumper. These lights, these are aftermarket because I had blue strobe lights in here. This was back when, you know, everything's LED now. But before they had actual neon strobe lights, and there was little ones that could fit in here. So I had blue lights all around the truck, and when I was a volunteer, especially at nighttime, just lighting that thing up, like it looked. Oh man, I wish I had video from that, because let me tell you, cars would move right out of the way. Oh. It's the manual, or the Haynes manual. Man, this thing, I'm keeping this because there's some memories in here. That's for sure. I don't think there's a page in this that I haven't been on. Not that this truck has been like a lot of work. It's just that I've done a lot to it, and it's just old. So you know, you end up, things wear out, so you end up replacing them. Let's just say I have very intimate knowledge of Toyota Tacoma mechanicals now at this point. Another story, a little bit more recent. This truck probably should have been totaled years ago. I had this electrical problem that caused the truck just to stall out when I was driving, and had to have it towed back to the house, and the fuse was going. I actually even replaced the computer. I couldn't figure out what was going on. Finally, I traced the wiring harness. It took me days. Every little inch, I'm looking, and I traced it to, there's a bracket under the hood, and I didn't quite clip the wiring harness back into that bracket when I was working on it at some point years in the past, who knows, and the wire just wore away a little bit, enough to expose it to a grounded part of the frame, and it was just sitting there. And every time you replace the fuse, it would just, you drive, it'd wiggle a little bit, sit on there, and blow the fuse. So it was shorting out right there, like a few inches of electrical tape, and the truck was fixed. But it was so much work to find that. Like, it would have been totaled if I tried to bring it to some place to have it fixed. Have I convinced you yet that this is a good idea for me to get rid of this truck? Because still trying to convince myself. It's hard to let go of stuff, that you have so many memories with. So, all right, well, I got to get this cleaned up and vacuumed out and cut out some of that wiring and stuff, make it look somewhat presentable. I don't know if this video is going to be terribly interesting, but maybe it's more for me than the viewer. But anyway. You working hard or hardly working? Yeah, you couldn't see the seats with all the stuff in there, huh?
There's slits back there. There's slits back there.
Dad's gonna get lots and lots of money.
Nanny.
He's so clean.
He said he's gonna be so surprised.
I haven't even really looked. I've been just looking through the camera.
Daddy, check in the back. Check in the back.
Let me check in the back. Watch out.
Whoa.
Baby cleaner back there.
Wow. Be careful of the speaker.
I cleaned that window. I cleaned that window.
You did? Wow. Well,
I
I think there's some stuff in between, but
Dad.
We can't get to it.
yeah, you can't get to it. Can you shut that one, Madeline?
What one?
Shut the one
sliding
inside.
window?
I cleaned this. I cleaned this, Dad. I cleaned this. I cleaned this.
Did you clean the speaker?
I
Thanks,
did.
buddy.
Daddy, he's on. Daddy, chase me. Take a video of me running.
All right.
This truck hasn't been this clean in years. All right, guys, this is it. I am driving to the dealership. These are the last moments, potentially. We'll see what happens when I get there. You know these guys, car salesmen. And as I'm pulling out of the driveway, I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't checked the oil in a while. I should probably do that. And it was damn near 3 quarts low. So I know there's been a slight oil leak that I've been meaning to address, and just another reason, right? You can hear the exhaust probably. It's I'm sure it's halfway fallen off by now. The catalytic converters are all rusted out. Those are pretty much non-functional at this point. The only way I got it to pass inspection last year was I pulled the battery for a whole week, and that let the computer die to the point that it had to do a factory reset, basically clear the computer's entire memory. So I was able to drive it straight to the emissions place, and the check engine light never came on. So the emissions now. They don't check your tailpipe anymore. They just scan the computer, and my computer said everything was hunky-dory. So, yeah. What are you gonna do? I hate to be polluting and all that, but you know, gotta get by. The 4x4 indicator, it tells me I'm always in four-wheel drive now. I don't know why that. Went into four-wheel drive last winter, shifted out. I'm definitely in definitely in two-wheel drive at this point, but it still thinks I'm in four-wheel drive. The engine still runs great. It still has a lot of power. It feels smooth. There's no coolant in the oil. There's no oil in the coolant. There's, you know, spark plugs look clean. Like, that head job that I did is just, it has held up. It's been fine. It's been great. So, all right, here we are. I'm pulling in. Here we go. $4,000. Woo! Can you believe I got $4,000 for that thing? Woo! I am driving home in my 2019 Ford F-150 V8 Super Crew. Just thought I had to capture this moment because they don't come around very often. My last vehicle I bought 16 years ago, so this is a pretty momentous occasion for me. I hope to one day be cursing and up to my elbows in grease and bloody knuckles working on this truck, keeping it alive for way longer than it should be too, because that's what Dennis does. All right. To be driving is something that doesn't feel like it's gonna fall apart. I feel very rich right now.